kitty, 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 kitty. Come here. Come on. Come on. After a long day of working outside on different various home projects, we were putting things away in the evening, and my husband thought he had heard a kitten meowing in our house. Well, upon further investigation, sure enough, there was a little solo kitten trapped in a tiny little space between our home's foundation and our porch. Hearing his desperate little cries when we would play a mama kitten recording just broke both of our hearts, and we knew we had to do whatever we could to help free him. And this is what happened next. It's so nice. Come on, baby. Come on. After seeing exactly where the kitten was located, we were even more determined to get this little kitten out of that space. So we worked tirelessly through the night, continuing to remove parts of our porch with whatever tools we could find that would fit into the very tight spaces. We thought that we had gotten close enough to where the kitten would have space to back up and out of that little hole that he somehow had gotten himself stuck into, but sadly he was still confronted with a board that just would not allow him enough clearance to back up fully out of the way. So we continued to chip away, to pry away, to cut away at whatever we could in order to give this little kitten a fighting chance to be reunited with his mother. Well, finally, after many long hours of trying whatever we could to get these obstacles out of his way, we decided that we just had to go to bed. So we placed a bin with a blanket, a warm place for him for the evening in case he made his way out. I'm sure he was terrified by all the loud buzzing and sawing and hammering that we had to do, but sure enough, in the morning when we checked, this is what we found. Right, so here's the aftermath of kitty rescue. Now we're trying to fix everything back how it was. Cameron just rigged up this little concoction here so that the hole was closed up so that no other little creatures get stuck in there again. Once all was said and done, we had to replace a floorboard and put back in some structural boards. Cameron had to kind of rig up that one little spot there and create a little piece to block that hole where the kitten had sadly gotten in and trapped. And then also, as you can see, our cement stair completely busted apart. So that was probably the biggest task, the biggest repair job to have to do with this whole rescue mission. We also ripped apart some of our lattice on the other side of the porch when we tried to access the kitten from underneath the house. I didn't show footage of that, but that also had to be repaired and then painted again. So it cost us a whole weekend of work, but it was the right thing to do. I'm sure that you agree. And now it's time to focus on my least favorite task of all the projects we're going to be doing in this video, and that is repairing the cement stairs and skim coating them all so that everything matches and it's all fresh. This is a new skill for me. I'm also 7 months pregnant, which makes things a little bit difficult when it comes to contorting my body in the way that I would like to in order to get into the spaces that I need to in the way that I would like to. So all right, stairs have been power washed. I'm actually surprised that's all the paint that came off. I thought way more, but we're just gonna cover it up. So painting these was not a good idea. It was trapping the moisture in and chipping. So I do have another set of stairs in the back that I painted that are holding up perfectly, but for some reason these aren't. So I just am not going to paint cement anymore. You would probably want to stain it versus paint it, but first time homeowner, we're learning and we're making better choices.
Just a minute, buddy, and I would gladly watch, okay?
Today's video sponsor is Vigo Garden, and they have supplied us with a couple of hose reels to use in our garden. And here I am fussing with our current hose. It's just such a pain because I'm always tangling it around my bushes and plants. These particular ones are always getting snagged because they are the fabric ones, which I like the fact that they are lightweight, but we've replaced them so many times because they're just more easily getting holes punctured in them. And my least favorite part about any hose is having to wind it back up on whatever contraption you use. We are using these shepherd's hooks. We've used the little hose houses before. Those end up just getting tangled and horrible, so we've gotten rid of those. It's just not my least favorite thing to do. Mosquitoes like to hang out in these corners where it's more damp, and I end up getting eaten alive trying to neatly reel my hose back up or wind it back up. And now we don't have to worry about that anymore because these Vigo hose reels retract for you with just a little tug, and they just neatly go back into their little box, and they're nice to look at. Not to mention, you get 130 feet of hose to take wherever you need to. Again, that was always an issue for me. Even with the longest hose I could find, I was always too short. So I love the fact that I can pull out as much hose as I want from these hose reels and make it to any part of my lawn I need to. This is a daily chore for me, watering my plants. We don't have any type of in-ground watering system or anything like that, so I water pretty much every single plant in our yard by hand, and these have just been amazing. I know you've seen them around and they're becoming very popular. I do highly recommend the Vigo brand. I absolutely love them as a company. Just everything they make is high quality, very aesthetic. I like the look of these. They actually come in two other colors, a white and a green, and I'm kind of kicking myself for not getting the white. I think that would have looked nicer with the posts that we're going to install to put these hose reels on. Also, there will be a discount code for you using the code Old Maple Home for 10% off. 10% off code is good until July 19th, so don't hesitate. If you've been wanting to get one of these for yourself, take advantage of that discount. Also, just go check out their website. They may be running some other offers currently at the moment. And I will leave all of this linked in the description for you, so it's very easy for you to find. Thank you so much to Vigo for sponsoring another one of my videos. You have made my gardening ambitions so much more enjoyable and so much easier. Super bells. Okay. So we need some super bells. How pretty.
Mom, I see some really pretty purple.
Golden butterfly.
It is just like the bottom of the dress. It's cool.
While Cameron works on digging the holes for the post installation for the hose reels, we are going to refresh some tired containers with some of the new plants you just saw me grab from the garden center. So let's get these planted up, and then I'll show you how it's all looking together in the front flower bed.
Watching you was such a thrill. All that I could do was laugh. I couldn't hold it back. I couldn't hold it. I couldn't hold it back. We were running on that open shore. No saddle on his back.
To show you guys my hydrangeas this year. These are endless summer hydrangeas. So they're the kind that you can turn pink or blue depending on the acidity of your soil. I like blue, so I like to add soil acidifier. I just got done doing that, and then I also added the year-end's dose of fertilizer, and I use Hollytone by Epspoma. And that is an acid plant-loving fertilizer. So you don't want to fertilize these past July, but the fertilizer will kind of help with the blooms for next season. So we just got done doing that, and actually we are going to move these Bobo hydrangeas so that these have more room and they're kind of blocking all the pretty blooms. So we're gonna move those, and I think I'm gonna put them right here in this empty spot here. Maybe we can make like a little hedge or something even. I'm not sure. Or I could put them along this pathway and make a little hedge. But maybe right here they would be kind of cute. It's so hard to know because things change so much with your landscaping, and you change your mind and then I end up moving things around. But anyway, for my hydrangea lovers, I just wanted to talk a little bit about those and give you some tips. But we've got still the blue and yellow theme going on in the garden, and I just love it so much. I think I'm going to do this again next year. It's just been so pretty and cheerful and bright. Blue and yellow always look so pretty together. Okay, let's check on Cameron's progress with the hose reel posts. And right now he is just securing in some pieces of wood on either side of the post so that when we pour in the concrete, we're able to keep it level. And even though it's a quick set, this just kind of ensures that it's not gonna lean one way or the other while we're waiting for it to dry.
All you do.
Oh, so close.
So close, so far. Cool.
And here Cameron is going to show you quickly how we rectified the issue of just being a foot short of our hose here to reach to our spigot. All we did was went to Home Depot and got this clear tubing. I believe it was 5/8 inch. And then we got some adapters that go on either end, and they just securely tighten on like Cameron's showing here with the screwdriver. And that's really all there is to it. There's no leaking or anything between these adapters and the other hose. I like that we were able to just cut it to length, so we didn't have a lot of extra slack there hanging, and it's working perfect. So if you run into this issue, this is all you need to do to solve it. The next thing that I wanted to tackle was to install this soaker hose to place it around each hydrangea in the front flower bed in order to help me with watering. It's just kind of tricky to get down to the root of these. You definitely don't want to water hydrangeas from the overhead. You want to soak them nice and deep at the root ball. So I just wrapped it around the water line right at the bottom of each hydrangea and then used some landscaping staples to hold it into place. So every time I need to water, I just turn that on and I don't have to go from plant to plant and water individually. next thing on my to-do list was to tackle these candy tuft plants and trim them up. They're getting very, very leggy, and hopefully this will encourage some more blooms. They do tend to bloom more so in the spring, but I think you can get another burst out of them maybe later in the summer. Going into fall, we shall see. These are supposed to be evergreens for us in zone 5B, so I'm excited to see what they look like all winter and just see how they flourish for the next spring. So far, I've really liked them. They've been a nice border plant, so if you're looking for something, I can say that I do recommend these. Like along the path. Okay, one last outdoor project to round out all of the things that we did this weekend to improve upon the exterior of our house. We're going to move those bobo hydrangeas that I showed you earlier that were in front of the hydrangeas in my front flower bed. I also have a few more kind of scattered throughout my yard, but I thought they would make a much bigger impact if they were kind of grouped together and then made into like a hedge coming up to our house from this little walkway. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to dig the holes, measure everything, and then put those in, and hopefully come, oh gosh, end of July, early August, they should have some blooms on them, and that'll be just a pretty little entrance walking up to our house. I got that on video. It's like an explosion.
Yeah.
Last one. I just have to show you all this because I don't know if you've ever seen anything like this, but we have had a squirrel literally eating the wood off our porch. I don't understand. This porch has been here for 40 years and it just started eating our porch when we moved in. So that's been fun dealing with that. So I'm just touching it up with some paint, trying to disguise it, but I guess we're just gonna try and find a metal lip or something that we can put along the front because we just can't keep him from eating our porch. I tell you, the animals around this house are just crazy. Okay, we've got our little bobo hydrangea path in, our little shrub hedge here on either side. Doesn't look like much right now because they're not in bloom or anything, but these will provide blooms more in the fall, so that'll be nice. They're all different sizes and stuff right now because they've all been planted in different areas, so hopefully once they get consistent water and consistent light, they'll all kind of catch up with each other. But now we've got like a little hydrangea hedge, and I think it looks a lot better not having those in front of my blue hydrangeas. So we'll see how we like this. I like the idea of it. Not sure if these are going to be the perfect plants for this spot, but don't tell my husband I said that. It's all trial and error with plants. You just never know how they're going to do in certain locations. But anyway, got that done. So I think that'll be cute once they kind of mature and get a little bigger, and then they'll fill out a little bit more and it'll feel more like a hedged pathway to walk down. And now you can see all the blooms in my hydrangeas, and it'll be so much easier to get to these to fertilize them without those other ones in the way. But we've got the soaker hose wrapped around each one, and I'm going to get some landscape staples so I can kind of put them where I want them. Yeah, we got so much done today.